Hi, everyone. Paige Panzarello, the cash flow chick here. And I'm really excited because today I'm with a superstar real estate investor, Jennifer Maldonado. She is very, very gifted in terms of being a real estate investor, number one. And she has been very successful in raising over $10 million in private capital. So I'm so excited that she is here with us today, number one, and that she's also going to be speaking at the Building Wealth with Notes workshop coming up next weekend. So I'm really excited. I want to kind of dig into how Jennifer is able to have literally people flood to this woman to give them her money so she can invest it for them in her deals and other people's deals. And I'm just really excited to have her with us today. So hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Paige. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really excited that you're going to have this workshop. I'm looking forward for the workshop too. And I'm really, really excited to be sharing some information with the people attending your workshop. I think this is the first time that I'm going to reveal some of the secrets I use to raise that much capital.
And I know, we've already gotten some feedback, which is great. I know that people are really excited to hear you speak. One thing I do want to also point out to everybody is that Jennifer is not only going to just speak, she's actually going to be there all 3 days. So you're going to have the opportunity literally to one-on-one network with her for 3 solid days and pick that beautiful brain of hers on how to raise that much private capital. So I had to throw that tidbit out there. We're excited to have her. And, it's going to be a tremendous weekend. So please, please, please don't miss it. Whether you're new or a seasoned investor, this is just something that you're going to have so much opportunity at your avail and gain so much insight and so much knowledge. And I know Jennifer is going to be a huge part of that as well. So I'm excited. Yeah. So let's kind of dig in a little bit, Jennifer. Give me a little bit about your background and not only, how did you get involved in real estate investing, but why?
Oh, of course, definitely. Well, I have to share this with you because I was really excited because I start from 500 Fortune companies and corporate as an engineer. And then I became a savvy real estate investor according to Los Angeles Business Journal and Women, Huffington Post, and multiple podcasts and radio shows. And they have been sharing that about me, which is pretty cool.
I would say so. No wonder you're a rock star.
But I think it's the fact that I have been able to connect with real estate investors that want to have their money working for them and get great returns in great project. And people, it's fascinated that I was capable to do this and go into a room, raise $500,000 in one night to $1 million without even speaking proper English. So
you speak beautifully.
So how do I do that? I would say something about me is that when I have a dream, I just go for it. And I talk to people and I get it done. And everything started for me. For example, when I was 8 years old, my mom asked me what I was going to do when I grow up. And I told her that I was going to work for a chocolate factory.
A chocolate factory. Every little girl's dream. I love that.
Of course. And then I told her, Mom, and I also want to work in a place where they do baby lotion because they smell really, really good. I want to smell like a baby. So yeah, that was a simple dream. And I actually ended up working for Nestle USA and Johnson & Johnson for a decade, saved them millions of dollars in very short period of time. And I have to tell you, both were dream jobs. I was so grateful. I learned so much. It was an amazing opportunity. However, there is that time in our lives that we really need to look into the mirror of meaning. And we ask ourselves, why do we do what we do? And for me, that was in 2012 when I was offered a 6-figure income promotion to lead manufacturing operations for one of the biggest facilities in Nestle. And instead of taking that promotion, I decided to follow my heartfelt mission of really helping and transforming the quality of life of many women, of thousands of women. So I quit my job, and it was very nerve breaking. And
Yes.
to the point, yeah, I didn't tell my parents like until 2 months later. And
It's nerve wracking. It's exhilarating and scary all at the same time, right?
Yes, I have to tell you, that was a very scary moment. Very excited too. I was very excited too. I was tasting the freedom that I always wanted, and it was very challenging, especially, my parents didn't understood what I was doing. My parents didn't have the money. They believe that you work really hard in a secure job, you pay your bills, and then you retire. And of course, you will live from a social security and a pension plan, which you and I know that doesn't work anymore. And
Not anymore.
yeah, and that wasn't on my agenda either. My gut was telling me, no, I have to do something different. So as I was talking to my brother, and we were talking for hours about why we do what we do, because we quit our job at the same time. It was hilarious.
That's perfect. So you each had each other for support. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think both of us were a little bit crazy and bold at the same time, but just having each other's back, that was enough for us to keep moving forward and do the things that we wanted to do. And we were laughing together. We were laughing about all the things that we have done as a child that were bold or crazy. And in that conversation, we remember when we used to play Monopoly. And yeah, and these remind me that I told my dad one day that I wanted to have properties like the game. And I'm like, wow, that sounds like a great idea. And he started laughing at me, and he told me one of the myths of real estate investing. You have to have a lot of money to invest in real estate.
Oh.
And that's how everything started. So I believed that for a long time, Paige, until my brother recommended me that awesome book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I remember I just went away, buy it, read it in less than 2 days, and I enrolled in real estate classes that week, and boom.
Wow.
And that's as I was moving forward in 3 months in classes, then I got my first deal, my first multifamily in Southern California. And it was over $200,000 in equity, and it was cash flowing. So, and plus the tax benefits and all of those cookies that comes with the real estate, right?
Sure. Absolutely. Yes. That little purple book really has changed the lives of so many people, myself included. And we like to share that and pass that along to people as well. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, definitely funny to know. And it describes a little bit about what happened when you get your first rental check. And that's the start point of an amazing journey and fun journey.
Yes. It is. Absolutely. Absolutely. So tell me a little bit, and everybody here with us, tell us a little bit about what you're going to be talking about at the Building Wealth with Notes workshop.
Oh, definitely. Well, let me tap into that, because into that myth that we just talked about, that you have to have a lot of money to invest in real estate.
Right.
This mindset has cost millions, if not billions of dollars in missing opportunities to most real estate investors.
You're so right.
Yeah, they think that, they have to have all of this money themselves, and they don't understand that this is just an opportunity to bring other people to invest in deals too, so they can start making better returns. I mean, sometimes it drives me crazy a little bit when people say, I cannot find the money for my deals. In the US economy, there are trillions of dollars, and people tell me that they cannot find the money. Yeah. This is the reality. The problem is not the money, but the approach that we are using with people and the way that we are presenting ourselves and what we have to offer to them. So most people get raising capital wrong. And this is what I want to share with them during the Building Wealth with Notes workshop that you're going to be offering for the first time. I will share how to immediately have an impact on investors, which is very counterintuitive.
Yes.
and the skill that you must develop, and how to intrigue investors in ways that capture and hold their attention so they chase you to get into your deals. I don't chase investors. Investors chase me. And it's just because of the relationship and the way that I approach to them that has made a huge difference. And literally I can get into a room and in 3 hours I can raise $1 million like nothing.
Wow.
And that's a little trick right there.
So you're going to share that little ninja trick with us at the building?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's very exciting. I don't think you've shared that ever, have you?
I'm sorry?
I don't think you've ever shared that, have you?
I have never shared that with anyone. And
well, I'm humbled and honored that you're going to share it with our attendees. Believe me, that's exciting.
Yes, I know. It's so hilarious. I even have some investors that I raise money for them that they beg me about training their sales team. And I'm like, no.
Well, then I really feel honored and special. So thank you for sharing.
Say no to you, Paige.
Oh, you're sweet. You're sweet. Thank you. Yeah, no, I mean, so you can walk into a room and raise $1 million in less than 3 hours. That's phenomenal. You know, and honestly, Jennifer, you hit on a point that I really like you to expand just a couple minutes on. You know, most people, like you said, they fear and they go about raising private capital in the wrong way. Namely, you know, most people chase money, like you said, instead of having money chase them. Can you kind of dig a little bit deeper into the mindset of that, and just give me a couple minutes, you know, and let our listeners know, you know, what you mean by that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the first thing is like when people get into the room and they're looking for money, they go and they act like they're begging for money. And in reality, you're not begging for money. You are giving the opportunity to other investors to really leverage in your efforts of a deal that you have or your sponsor have, and you're giving them the opportunity to do great returns. So when you talk to someone, you don't go and you say, hey, can you give me money? No, you go and you have that approach, you know, you talk to them, what is that you're looking for? And there's different things that I'm going to be sharing, different tips on how to make that approach that I will be sharing during your workshop. But literally it's about what can I do for you and what is that you're looking for? Oh, you have some money? Great. I might have some opportunities for you. However, I want to make sure that I want to make business with you.
Right.
And people is like, oh, how can you do that? How you're going to reject someone with millions of dollars? Yeah, I will. Because I want to work with people who are really eager to make money, who are decision makers, and that they know what is a good deal. And there's no need to be convincing anyone that they need to invest, because I am actually bringing an opportunity to them, not chasing money. So, but that's one of the things. And then another thing that I can share with people is when I'm talking to people, I never go with, I'm going to sell you. My first approach is about how can I help you succeed? And that create a completely shift. It's like someone coming, okay, how can I help you?
Right.
And that create a completely different relationship, and your trust and your credibility are shifted like this. That's right there, the start point. And of course, there's other follow-up things that you do. I mean, you try to help them, you do what you can do to help them out too. And that's been the biggest difference for me, literally, and that's huge. That's huge. But that's what I would say. You don't chase the investor. You talk to people, you build relationships, and they will come back to you. Hey, I have some money. Do you have some deals? And not only that, they're going to bring their friends too. So the better that you treat them, the most trust you build with these people, the fastest, the quickest, and the biggest your network is going to get.
You know, you hit on a point there that's really, really important, you know, that you build trust. So not only do you raise the private capital, right, but you actually, and I know you're going to agree with me, but, you know, when you do what you say you're going to do, you know, you treat their money better than you treat your own money.
Yes.
And then you follow up with integrity and doing what you actually say you're going to do. Talk about that a little bit in your space and what you do as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's even in this concept. I mean, if I tell an investor that at 10 in the morning, he's going to have that email, at 10 in the morning, that email is in there. Even if it's saying, hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. It was a pleasure. Let's set up some time for a coffee. So even if it's as simple as that, right there, that's creating trust. And then I will communicate with them in many ways to make sure that they receive the message. I don't give excuses, I give solutions. And I make sure that I do what I said I will do when I say I will do it. And that's completely different. Even if it's a silly thing, people do not understand how little things can turn into big things.
You're right.
And that's right there. I mean, it's as simple as that. There's no science behind, but there is a follow-up process. And of course, there are some steps once that you have that relationship that you need to follow to make sure that you're delivering. But a part of that is just that first time when you meet that person, you cause a specific a first impression. And then after that, you follow with your word. And that's very important. That has to be there. If you don't do that right there, you're already breaking the trust.
You're absolutely right. So, if you say, I'm going to call you on Tuesday at 12 o'clock to follow up and set a coffee date, don't call them on Tuesday at 12:30. Call them at 12 o'clock, because that's the promise that you've made to them. And that shows them if your follow through. So that's such a huge point to make. So let's talk a little bit about kind of a deal that, do you have an example that you want to give to us about a time that you had to raise a certain amount of capital and had some successes or not successes? Give us a little story. Tell us a little bit about a deal that you've done recently.
Actually, I'm going to share two stories with you.
Okay.
One is one that it was amazing. Make it or break it. I remember it was a non-performing notes portfolio, and it was so important because these portfolio came from a very well-known developer here in Los Angeles, California, and he was a developer. He wasn't a non-performing note expert. So I ended working out with one of my partners, and that's how I get into the non-performing notes world. And he told me, Jennifer, we have a portfolio that is worth it over $3 million, and we are getting this baby for 20 cents in the dollar.
Wow.
And we are like, okay, so we need to raise how much? Because, I didn't have the money at that time. I only have probably $15,000, and that's only literally my bank account. I invest a lot of money in education.
Yes.
But I have $15,000, and I'm like, how do we go about this? And the first thing I thought about it, is like, okay, who do I know that might be interested on investing? And I started calling people, and there were friends, there were people I was working with, and I told them, listen, I'm going to be open to you. I'm getting into this project, and this project, it's 20 cents in the dollar. This guy has been doing this for around 15 years, and the numbers look good. And that's what I told them. And they're like, okay, do you have any other information? No, I don't. But I just know that there's an opportunity to make money. And I'm giving you that opportunity to you today. And I'm going to put my partner in the phone so he can explain you how these work, because I don't know. I just know that numbers looks good.
That's amazing. Yes.
So
you leveraged your team basically, and you had the trust built up with your money people. When you said it was a good deal, that it wasn't just willy-nilly, even though you didn't have the specific knowledge on this particular one, you surrounded yourself with a team and you leveraged your team, which is amazing.
Exactly. And that's something I have been doing. So we raised the capital and we sell that project in just a few months. So the investors were really happy with me.
I bet they were.
I was like, ooh, that was close. And then I got my check. I'm like, oh my God, I did good money with these things. So how do we do this again? So you try to repeat the same kind of successes, right? Yeah, yes. And of course, I didn't know too much about the rules and the laws of how to put this together. So I'm like, okay, who I need to talk to now? Oh, lawyers. I need to find lawyers.
Right.
So, so it was a whole interesting thing. I would say I jumped into the water without knowing how to swim, but I knew that people around me, they knew how to swim.
Yep.
And surrounding like with people that they know what they're doing was a critical step to really succeed and being able to raise that much capital for that project, because still it was a millionaire project.
Sure.
So yeah.
Amazing.
And yeah, now I have another project that it was very interesting. I was looking into the project, and I when I know about the projects, I will bet the deal myself, and I will really evaluate. Of course, I never shared much of that information until I meet with the investors and I go over their questions. But this project was very interesting, but I felt like there was something that I needed to know. So what I did is I went with other women that they have been investing longer than me, probably longer than what I'm alive. And
love it.
and you know, it is how it is. You leverage your team, you leverage the experience,
Absolutely.
and that's the thing to do. I mean, that's why I call them and I share with them the projects, and I wasn't getting responses too much about these projects. And I'm like, there's something going on. So I talked to the other women, and they explained a couple of things of these projects. So I wasn't raising capital for that project that will really help me to finish the project. And what I find out is that there was some issues with that specific project. So at first I thought I was doing something wrong, and then I find out that the project wasn't an appropriate project. So sometimes you have to walk out from the projects.
Yes.
And that was a big lesson for me, because you know, sometimes you will put things together and you think that you will plan for some specific things, and this one there were another things that I didn't know about it. So now that create even a stronger foundation for me, because whenever I am putting something together, I tend to talk to expert people that has been doing it longer than me to make sure that we are evaluating the project in the proper way. But I didn't raise the capital for that one, and I ended up walking out actually from that specific sponsors, because I noticed some of these projects were not the most appropriate projects. So
you know, and that's key too, Jennifer, that you touched on that. You know, again, you're really looking out for you want to make sure that your word is gold, and that you're putting people together with deals that are appropriate. And if they're not, you're willing to walk away. And that's a huge thing, because, you know, a lot of people will want to save face, or, oh, I've already, you know, brought people to the table, or, oh, here's this mistake. You know, I would, it's very encouraging, because I'm the same way. If I see that there's an issue, I'm going to walk away. I'm going to bring people with me and say, look, you know, I know that we originally did our due diligence, and this is what we uncovered. And since that time, we've uncovered this, and I really don't want you to go into this project. And that builds that foundation even stronger, like you said, because, you know, you've got your shield on, right? And you're protecting your investors, which is huge. That's important. So I'm glad you shared that story.
Sometimes we have to walk away, and we will know. So that's one of those things done. Being humble on putting deals together and be willing to listen. It's really good. Not that you're not going to believe in your project, but listen to what other people has to say in regards to the projects, because it might be about your project, or it might be in the investment style or requirements that they have. And it might be that this investor is not appropriate for this project, but you might have other projects that will be appropriate for this investor. And that's something that it requires some time to develop too. When you have someone that tells you no, the only thing I can hear is not now. So
I love that. I love that. You're right.
Yeah. So that's what it's about. It's building that, and you know, in the note industry, you have this too. I mean, you have so much experience in real estate transaction. And actually, I'm going to ask you, Paige, why did you become a real estate note investor? Because that's interesting.
It is actually. I'm glad that you asked. Thank you. I've been a real estate investor for over 20 years, and I've done just a little bit of, well, I've done a lot of things. And really, I think it's important to know, and through my journey, that there's a lot of shiny objects that are out there in real estate investing. There's a lot of gurus that give you their programs, and everything sounds great. So, for me, I was kind of thrown into real estate investing into the deep end of the pool without knowing anything about how to swim in real estate investing. But like you ask lots of questions and you quickly learn. So I became an investor kind of by default. I didn't really have a choice. But I very quickly learned that this was the path, this was a passion for me, this was the way that I wanted to go. And so I've done just about everything. Like I said, I started out by virtue of inheritance, by inheriting 38 townhome units. And I was trying to self-manage the property. And I can tell you that I learned very quickly that I am not a good property manager. I fired myself from that job, which was the best thing ever. But, again, it's a great strategy for a lot of people. I went from that, we owned a sewer treatment plant, so I learned a lot about sewer treatment plants, more than I ever wanted to know. We sold that, and I also started my own construction company because I inherited some land. And the contractors didn't, they were taking advantage. And so I said, okay, well, I'm just going to start my own construction company. And so I did. And I learned a tremendous amount. I brought in, people, and I surrounded myself with people that were in the know, and I asked lots of questions. We had, 36 employees, and we were booming. We were rocking and rolling. And then, 2007 happened. And that really kind of, having gone through that, I did what you and I have talked about already, is that I had investors, of course. I was very fortunate in that I was pretty liquid. I had a lot of liquidity. I wasn't leveraged. I only had about 10% or less encumbrance. I had a lot of assets that I could sell and fire sale when the crash happened. But, it took me about 3 years, and I paid back all of my investors. But, the reality is, at the end of the day, 3 years later, I walked away with having lost $20 million and having nothing. And that has a tendency to shape a person as an investor. So when I came back into real estate investing, I really wanted to be laser focused. I wanted to be able to control my outcome. I didn't want to have to rely on other people for my profit. And so when I found the note space, literally, and I say this often, but angels sang for me, because they really did. And, it's not for everybody, but it is for a lot of people, believe it or not. That when we talk about it and they hear what is involved, and especially if they come to the Building Wealth with Notes workshop, we give you all the tools and we give you the steps to take so you don't get hurt. But, the interest is there. And for me, I want to be able to generate both chunks of cash and streams of cash flow. I want to be able to create short-term plays in some investments and long-term holds in other investments. I have the ability, again, to control the outcome. And I don't have to necessarily worry about tenants and toilets and taxes unless I choose to. There's a big difference there. So I can actually monthly cash flow by being the bank. And when the toilet breaks or the air conditioning breaks, the borrower, not the tenant, the borrower does not call me as the bank. They call the plumber or the AC repair guy. And so for me, that I landed here about 4 years ago, and I have really not looked back since. And I just about, 85, 90% of my portfolio is in non-performing notes for that reason. So, and I love it. I absolutely love it every day.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm into the development. I am to raising capital. I love lease option and tax deed, but notes, it's still one of my favorite real estate strategies, just because it really gives you that flexibility to do what you want to do with the property and just playing the bank's game. Yeah.
Absolutely. And a lot of people, you know, they have a job right now, and I call it a job because and that's okay. But just really take, you know, it was important for me to take control of my financial future. I know, Jennifer, it's important for you to take control of, you know, you left a 6-figure job, and you didn't want to rely on anybody for your outcome, and that's kind of, you know, what I'm talking about, and why I teach the Building Wealth with Notes workshop is to give you that basis and that knowledge and that option to take control of your financial future. You know, you can still keep that job, but, you know, put your money to work for you and learn how to do it in a smart way where you're mitigating risk. And so that's, you know, that's really important. It really is.
And it can be a really good compliment. I mean, not much people, I mean, they have a family, they have to take care of so many things. So getting into a rehab project will be very difficult because then now they're dealing with time. So, and that's a very challenging thing to do. So one of the things that they can do is definitely learn about notes, because it doesn't require as much as time as it will require something like a rehab. But then it allows you to have some really good cash flow, and it's not going to require people calling you, even if you have a property management company, that they will call you because they have to spend this much money, right, on toilets and plumbing and hey, pretty soon we have to replace the roof, and you're like, ugh.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and you say, no, I get my cash flow.
So, all right. So I have another question. It's actually 2 parts for you, Jennifer.
Okay.
And this is mostly geared kind of towards somebody that's just starting out. You know, clearly you were in that position not all that long ago. I mean, that 2012, that was 5 years ago. So not that long ago. So for someone just starting out and they're about to make that leap into real estate investing, how would you recommend that they get started? Number one. And number two, how would they go about raising their own private capital?
Okay, well, those are great questions. And well, the first one is for people who are starting, definitely I will recommend get educated. I know that some people love, for some reason, I don't know why, they love the suffering of learning in the hard way. Like they go out there, they jump, and they start doing things, and they do all of these mistakes, and it's really expensive. It's very painful, and actually sometimes it gets you very disappointed. You don't have to go through that. It's like, yes, go and invest in education, in good education. Definitely, that's something I did right away. I read a book, I went and get educated, and 3 months later, I did my first deal, and guess what? It was an investment. I did something with it right away. It paid off. If you don't do anything with that education, then that's when it's costing you money.
You're right.
But definitely it's safe. And here's the thing too. Yes, it might cost money and you will invest, but in reality, it will save the most important asset that you have in your life is time. Yeah. Time is something that you're not going to recover at all. It's something that it keeps moving forward. Money, you can recover the money, yes, but time, it's something that you will lose, and you can really advance further faster if you get educated. It helps a lot. Yeah. And the second thing is, I mean, Paige, you have a cash flow game. They really need to go and play cash flow so they can practice what they're going to be doing in real life. Yep. And those are 2 things that they must do when they are starting.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah, it's just critical. Now, the thing is, like, a lot of people will say, hey, but I don't have the money and this and that. And they will give all of these excuses. That's not the problem. Yeah. To raise capital, the first thing that you need to understand is, what are you going to do with this money? You don't have the money to get education? Go ahead and talk to a sponsor and talk to them and tell them, hey, listen, I want to do these real estate investment classes because this is what I'm planning to do. I have met many, many people that they got sponsored by other people, get educated, and then went back, did their first deal, and guess what? They paid them back.
That's amazing.
So money is not an excuse. It's your attitude and character that will shift things. And for raising capital, it's just, again, it's getting educated. There's some legal portion that you need to be aware of. That's when you really need to start working very close with lawyers, because there's some laws that you need to follow and things like that. Yeah. But in reality, raising capital is, it's like going and talking to your friend and sharing with them that a big opportunity that it's about to happen. Just imagine if you have this friend and this friend is doing 20%, 30%, 40% on their money, and they didn't tell you about that opportunity. How you're going to feel?
I would feel left out. Absolutely. Yeah. Like, why didn't you tell me? We're friends, right?
Exactly. So why you're going to be selfish? Yeah. Raising capital is about talking to the people close to you. And I know a lot of people say, I don't want to work with family because if something happened with the money, this and that, well, that's a very personal decision. Sure. For me, it just drives me more because I want to make sure I'm getting into the right deals and making sure I'm doing this right. Because it's my relationship with my family members, my relationship with my friends, it's my relationship even with people that I don't know. But for me, having a relationship is even more important than the money itself. And that's how that's how you need to be thinking about this. This is about giving the opportunity to people that you are surrounded with to walk with you on this journey and make sure, that you're doing your best to really help them also make better returns on what they are doing out there.
Absolutely. I mean, the interest rate right now per year is less than 0.25% per year. In a regular banking situation, it's awful.
Yeah, it is. And savings accounts are really low, and let's not start talking about the other things.
Absolutely, we could go on for days about that.
Oh yeah.
But you bring up a really good point, and I want to repeat this. And also, really one of the things that I love about you, Jennifer, honestly, is that you are such an out of the box thinker. Who else would talk to somebody about, if you don't have the money to go get educated, find somebody who does and see if they'll sponsor you. I mean, honestly, to those that are coming to the Building Wealth with Notes workshop, I really hope that you take the opportunity to talk to Jennifer, because she never ceases to amaze me with her out of the box thinking. I thought I was an out of the box thinker. Believe me, this woman puts me to shame. She's tremendous of the ideas that she comes up with. And she's willing to share, which I think is tremendous as well. But again, it's all about the relationships. You're absolutely right. It's not about the money. If you make it about the money, you're going to get hurt, because you really need to develop the relationship. And I know that you're going to teach us how to do that also at the workshop. So I'm excited and looking forward definitely to learning more about that from you as well. So is there a way that people can find you, Jennifer? Where can they learn more about you and what you do? Because I know that you also teach a financial challenge, don't you?
Yes, I do. Okay. I have a financial challenge for women that I'm working on to help not only women, but men too, how to build a strong financial foundation that helps you deal with the economic ups and downs, which, as you say, it includes real estate strategies too. So we have other strategies there, but it's more about how do you do that? How do you plan for it? Mm-hmm. Right now, my website is being rebuilt. It's jenmaldonado.com. Okay. But I will love if people can connect with me in Facebook at Jennifer Maldonado Cintron, and we can post it at the bottom of these videos so people can reach me. Sure. In the meantime. I don't tend to friend a lot of people, so if they tell me that they they're connecting with me because they hear about your workshop, then I'm gonna accept them.
Okay.
But no, it's in reality just because I know the quality of people that your workshops bring, and I'm willing to help people. And I love to surround myself with people, that they're willing and eager to succeed in real estate. but I will do that for now. But in the meantime, probably I would say in 2 months, I should have my website completed. Because it was completed, take it down, and now it's being rebuilt. So, but yeah, and they can send me a message, and also they can write to me at Jen, Jen, at Wren, WREN, inspires.com. And that way I can answer to them via email too.
Perfect. So Jen at reninspires.com is her email address. That's tremendous. And then of course, Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, all under Jennifer Maldonado. Or is it Jen Maldonado? I'm sorry. Or is it Jennifer?
I go by Jennifer Maldonado. Run. I have to put my mom's last name there. If I don't, she's going to be mad at me.
Oh, really mad. We don't want moms mad at daughters. So let's.
No.
Well, thank you so much, Jennifer, for coming on and sharing some insight about what you're going to be sharing with us at the Building Wealth with Notes workshop coming up so soon. I know I'm excited. I know that there are, the attendees that are already registered are also very excited to learn from you. And if you would like to join us and other like-minded investors, be in the room and networking and spending time with us one-on-one, learning not only about non-performing notes, but also how to raise private capital. We also are bringing in, UDirect. So we're going to be learning about self-directed IRAs, a financial calculator, and also infinite banking about how to be your own bank. So you combine all of that together, it's just absolutely mind-blowing and will propel you and your business to the next level. And that's something that I and my team strive to do, and that's why we're here. So again, Jen, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to join us, please go to buildingwealthwithnotes.com. And if you go to buildingwealthwithnotes.com/insider, there's a little gift for you at the end that will treat you to our workshop. So, claim your gift, go to the website. You could also go to cashflowchick.com under the training tab. I look forward to seeing you there. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.